We now have over 225 companies, and on the right, I provided a breakdown of the types of companies that are in our program. So we have a pretty interesting mix of tenants, owner-occupied buildings, home offices, and property managers. And the reason we split them up like that is because we realized that these particular business types have unique green business challenges and opportunities. So we've designed resources specifically for these 4 different business types. Our web-based interactive scorecard has been going strong for over a year and a half. We use it to essentially help our companies track their progress in 6 key environmental areas. So that's available to anyone for free who joins our program. So again, the program is free. It helps you save money. It improves our environment, obviously, and helps us reach our greenhouse gas reduction goals. And we also help you promote your success and provide publicity for your company in the process. And that's our website for more information. So I just want to remind everyone who the founding partners of our program are. Again, it's the Business Council, the County Government, Synergist, and Green Team Spirit. We're very thankful for our sponsors. We thanked them already today, but I'll thank them again. Con Edison, our platinum sponsor. Verizon is a brand new sponsor at the silver level. Rexon SL Green is a bronze sponsor, along with Pernod Ricard. Our media sponsors, Green Guru, and a very exciting project we're working on right now is actually developing 6 web videos with the help of Mark Beluski and Beluski Video. So you'll see those coming up pretty soon, showcasing the achievements of 6 of our award-winning companies from last year. So I thought, since many of you have seen this presentation before, I'd do something a little bit interesting because we are actively analyzing all of the scorecard data that's coming in. So many of you wonder, what are other companies and what are fellow participants in this program actually doing? Or what are some of the most common green strategies, or least common green strategies that are being implemented today? So, little pop quiz early in the morning. What's the most popular green strategy implemented by our tenants? Again, this is just among our tenants today. Is it A, install a drinking water filter and eliminate bottled water? B, circulate documents electronically instead of making copies? Donate old electronics, furniture, equipment? Or change the settings on your computer so that it goes into sleep, which reduces energy consumption? They're all popular, you're right. I tried to pick the 4 most popular so that it'd be a little bit challenging. The most popular is actually, as you can probably imagine, now that we all live in our inboxes and basically live on email. Of course, it's circulating things electronically, followed by D, changing the settings on our computers to make them more energy efficient. C, donating all electronics, furniture, and equipment. And then A, still hard to get rid of those the bottled water, I guess, still, even if we have fantastic water in Westchester County. And what is the least popular green strategy implemented by our tenants today? Ultra-low sulfur diesel. If you're driving a diesel, if you have a diesel fleet, you changed it to biodiesel or ethanol for flex fuel. Calculated and offset carbon emissions for business travel. Established a policy to request hybrids when renting cars for business travel. Or D, have energy-efficient vending machines. I guess not everyone loves diesel as much as I do, but that's A. And then energy-efficient vending machines, it's a little bit of a catch-22. I don't know if they even totally exist, but there are some that are more energy-efficient than others. Best, of course, is not to use them. C, establish a policy to request hybrids, and, of course, offsetting your carbon emissions, which is not cheap, but it's obviously an excellent thing to do. So I'm not going to go through these, but I want to provide our top 10 list of things that companies are doing just to show that we are a very action-oriented program. Our companies are doing real things every day, and I'm going to make this available on our website so you can see what the 10 most popular green strategies are for our tenants and for our owner-occupied buildings. And what's interesting is that there's some overlap, but clearly when you're in charge of your building as a property manager or you own the building, you can do a great number of things that tenants can't. So you will see that there are things here that aren't on the tenant list. So that's interesting to note as well. Quick reminder, we remind you all, and we encourage you all to submit updated scorecards by our deadline of March 31st. We will once again be having a recognition event this spring. It's always a very popular event. We have details to come. But if you want to be recognized and qualify for that, you need to update your scorecard, or if you haven't done one, please register and submit one. We will be screening these videos that I mentioned, so that's something to look forward to. And we have more details coming up. So I just want to, we always try to provide publicity for our companies because we're so happy to have them on board. So I'm just quickly going to show the logos of our active participants today, meaning they've completed scorecards. They've done more than just taking their 2 minutes to register on our website. So I want to just show these logos. Don't mind the growing grass. We have lots of big names, diverse sizes, global corporations from Heineken and Dan, Pernod Ricard, to smaller, mom and pop shops, hospitals, utilities, hotels, obviously lots of companies in the tourism industry which are represented here today. So let's get through that. So today's focus is sustainable travel and tourism. You probably didn't know there was a UN World Tourism Organization, not the World Trade Organization. When I saw the WTO, I was a little bit confused. But they do have a definition of sustainable tourism I just want to throw out there. Larry mentioned ecotourism, nature-based tourism. There's a lot of terms that are used interchangeably to describe this area of tourism. They define it as tourism that takes full account of its current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of visitors, the industry, the environment, and host communities. That's a very broad and somewhat confusing definition. For the purposes of our discussion today, we're simply going to be looking at the existing industry through a green lens. And these are some of the many organizations that are out there, international, global organizations, focused on green or eco or sustainable tourism. So a few of them are Sustainable Travel International, Audubon International, Green Media Industry Council, and according to the UN, sustainable tourism, this is interesting, actually represents the fastest growing market in the tourism industry. They have a rate, it's growing at a rate currently of 5% worldwide, and it represents over 11% of all consumer spending in the tourism segment. So that's a very interesting number, so it's something to definitely keep an eye on. So for our discussion today, obviously, the industry is global, but our focus today is regional. You can probably tell that I studied art history because I included a wonderful painting that's 200 years old from the Hudson River School. The reason I have it up here is because it actually played a very important role in shaping the early image of the Hudson Valley as a beautiful place, a place to protect with very rich natural resources. You can't tell from this, although you can actually, it's on a big screen, but these paintings are immense. And so it really was some of the early, I guess you could say, marketing of our region. And it actually is what spurred a lot of the movements relating to the protection of the parks. You know, it's not a coincidence that Westchester has the largest parks system of any county in the country. Along the bottom, I'm highlighting some of the more modern day attractions and some of the features of our wonderful county and region today that we're going to be focused on. So besides the Hudson River, which is clearly one of the most beautiful rivers in the United States, we have many sustainable tourism assets in the region, including small farms, immense forests, historic buildings and battlegrounds. There are countless historic sites and buildings that are ready for adaptive reuse, transit-accessible attractions, and a whole host of sporting, viewing, touring, tasting, and other recreational activities. There's lots of room for growth, though. And the Mid-Hudson Regional Sustainability Plan, which was just released, includes sustainable tourism as a major economic strategy and driver for the future, and it's given a very prominent position in that plan. And so it's going to be an exciting topic to follow in the months and years ahead. So we have representatives, we're very fortunate to have representatives here today representing many of the most important areas of tourism, and in particular sustainable tourism, with us today. So I'd like to invite our panelists to come up here to these very comfortable looking chairs. So Sherry Darosha and Lucille and Lou and Walter and David and Imran can come up here. I'm just going to quickly read their introductions so you know who they are before we delve into the discussion. I'm going to start here to my left with Sherry Darosha. Sherry is Sherry is the Director of Tourism and Programming for Crown Maple Syrup. As a new culinary and nature concept in the Hudson Valley, Madonna Farms and Crown Maple encompass a 30,000 tap organic maple operation, 800 acres of sustainably forested land and trails, and a 27,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility setting new standards in the maple industry. Sherry relocated to the Hudson Valley from Chicago in late 2011 for the opportunity to lead development at Madonna Farms and contribute to tourism industry policy initiatives in New York State. Thank you, Sherry. The next is Walter. Walter Rescher is the Director of Development for Hospitality Resource Group Incorporated and has over 25 years of experience as an executive entrepreneur and educator, developing innovative training and workforce programs with regional business organizations and educational institutions in the greater New York metro area. Walter has been a lifelong advocate for conservation and green strategies and is the author of